Hello, YouTube. This is Piss and Moan, and wrong channel. God, we're disconnected. I should actually probably message my wife, let her know why I'm not messaging her back. God, it's 2. We probably should call it after this. This is Solo.
Disconnected. Woo!
A Star Wars story. Talk.
Solo, a superhero origin story. That doesn't sound nearly as good as a Star Wars story. Solo, probably the second best thing they've done with Star Wars.
I don't think they should have said a Star Wars movie because it really wasn't. I think that's its biggest flaw, is that it's set in the Star Wars universe.
No, because I don't think I would have given a crap if it wasn't set in the Star Wars universe.
I think it was a reasonably well written story with some good twists and turns and some good character interactions and characters.
I don't think I gave a crap about the characters other than knowing where they ended up. Because without knowing where Han and Lando ended up, I don't think I would have given a crap where they were now. This seems like an origin story.
Oh, yeah, it does really, really, really rely on that you know who they are.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about it, but that's a really good point.
Can you imagine showing this to someone before watching the other Star Wars
that'd
movies?
be comical.
Exactly. And that's...
Which sucks. Actually, that's a really good point. Because it really stands alone better if you don't think of it as a Star Wars movie. Because it's so not a Star Wars movie. It's a decent, bank heist movie. Assuming you know who the characters are and don't care that it's not really a Star Wars movie.
Well, I'll describe it like I did on Facebook afterward. It's a really super duper bargain bin discount Casino Royale. Like, here's Casino Royale on the new movie shelf. Here's this version of Casino Royale in the bargain bin over here. That's Solo. It's some of the characters were downright carbon copies.
Yeah. The big one that stood out to me is his
Kira.
Yeah, well done on her. Like, she was probably the best part of the movie.
Well, she was the best part of the movie because she was the best part of Casino Royale.
I don't remember enough of Casino Royale.
Vesper, she's the same damn character as Vesper in Casino Royale. Down to the,
yeah, spoilers.
Well, that just kind of gives it away for anyone who's seen Casino Royale.
If they're watching this, they've probably already seen it. No, that doesn't make sense.
No, Paul, it's only us watching this, so we've
already seen it, so no spoilers for us.
But it's an alright movie. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would the first time, but I liked it less the second time I went.
I think I probably will as well. I think it was good. I think it's the best one since Rogue One, and probably that makes it...
That is such a terrible qualifying statement, considering there's only been one other movie since Rogue One. It's by far the worst thing to come out of Star Wars of all time.
It was the worst movie last year, so that's not saying much. Star Wars has been on a pretty low streak for quite a while. I loved Episode 1, but I can understand that I was an impressionable teenager at the time, and that was a bad and incorrect judgment on me.
Big gooberfish.
And I still love it, but it's my teenage heart at heart saying it.
I'll sit through the first 2 hours just to watch the Darth Maul fight.
God, that's great. Love that movie. I love the pod racing.
Pod racing I could have taken or left. No,
I did enjoy it. Oh man, I loved it. Loved the video game. I was addicted to pod racing. I was the right age group for that.
Well, and for me, it's always been obsession with Obi-Wan. I've always loved Obi-Wan as a character.
But now, when I say that, that whole prequel trilogy was a train wreck, and the newest, not the newest one, but the restart, the episode Force Awakens, was decent. I can't begrudge it. It was decent. It was better than the prequel trilogy. Nowhere near as good as the original trilogy.
But
pales compared to Rogue One.
Well, even it has been tainted by Last
Jedi. Force Awakens is significantly worse now that
and everything leading back to us complaining about Star Wars. And especially in comparison to this, Han's death at the end of Force Awakens now means literally nothing in terms of character development for anyone, considering what they did.
Yep, absolutely. But this is what I was getting at is this is better than any of the prequels, any of the newest movies that have been made up, except for Force Awakens. Rogue One, sorry. Like,
and we'll qualify that. Rogue One isn't a masterpiece. It's all right. But that 30 seconds of Darth Vader is the best Star Wars footage of all time.
Yes, it really is.
I get chills every time.
I don't know what percentage of their budget they put into that. It was worth it.
It was a reshoot. It was literally they did that with reshoots. It wasn't going to be in the original film.
Best part of the movie.
God, that.
But
I want to see a horror movie that firmly establishes horror just like that scene, because it's absolutely terrifying.
It really is. It's so well done. That power dynamic is so clear, and the people just understanding and knowing their situation.
Shit, we're dead.
Just shooting. Take it. Just keep going. I know where I'm at. But I know.
It firmly establishes how they believe in their cause, and it's great.
Phenomenal scene. And such a great way to tie the movie. Oh, phenomenal. Phenomenal. But what this tells me is the Disney and whoever they're putting in charge of these things does not understand Star Wars. They can make good movies.
Yeah.
But as long as you pull them out of what is Star Wars and made the original 3 movies so good and what makes this universe so good, they can exist in the universe, but they can't handle.
It goes back to the number one established rule of Disney of all time. Disney doesn't...
down. No take chances.
No. Disney doesn't know how to do sequels.
Yeah, Disney they really don't.
Disney has...
I was going to say, what about Toy Story? Wait, that's Pixar.
That's Pixar. With very few exceptions, Disney does not know how to build on an original story. One? Aladdin and the King of Thieves. I will bring that up every damn time because I love that movie.
It was a great movie.
And that is how you build characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why... And it's so great because... It doesn't rely on killing off a family member to move a plot forward. It brings
the opposite.
Yeah, does the exact opposite. I love that.
I'd love to review that movie. That's a good one. That's one of my favorites growing up too.
And
Return of Jafar wasn't bad either.
Yes, it was.
Okay, maybe it was, and I'm just not remembering well.
And I think that Aladdin and the King of Thieves would be regarded as just as much of a Disney classic if it had the same damn budget as the rest of the as a mainstream Disney movie, because you can tell with the animation it is hit super hard by a lack of a budget.
But is there another decent sequel in Disney? I
enjoyed Lion King 2 at the time, but I don't know that I have seen it in 10 plus years. Lion King 1.5 was funny, but
yeah.
No. Mulan 2 was garbage. All the Cinderella movies were...
Yeah.
Why even make a sequel to Cinderella? Okay, I'll be fair. I never saw any of them because that was my thought process, even as a 10-year-old kid. Why are we making a sequel to Cinderella? Oh, man,
you did not miss out. I've watched some of them.
Little Mermaid 2 was... God. But yeah, Disney does not know how to do sequels. They don't know how to build a story over several movies. They don't know the amazing tricks you can do if you know where the ending is going to be when you start the beginning. Back to the Future 2, they can throw in the Clint Eastwood movie playing on TV in the second one, foreshadowing the ending of the third Back to the Future movie. That's when you know where the story is going. It's amazing the stuff you can drop in. But Disney doesn't know how to do this. And
that's a good point. And that's why these movies that aren't continuations, they're just side things, are decent. And once again, not saying Solo was great. It was good. It was good. Of the movies I've seen this year, it's in the same caliber as Infinity War.
Probably right.
I mean,
It's been a great year for movies, unlike 2017.
I think the real problem Solo had is, first off, it followed Last Jedi, which is the biggest train wreck of last year.
And I would say 100% of the financial struggles. Well,
Not
99% of the financial.
I wouldn't even say that much. It was released at a terrible time too.
Well, released at a
in
terrible
between
time.
Infinity War.
Released at a terrible time following The Last Jedi, highly publicized production issues. It was publicized production issues. There you go.
So it had a lot of things going bad for it. And the C65, I think, is unfair for the audience score. I suspect that's jaded like us. I think it's like Infinity War. It's a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie. It's worth seeing. It's definitely worth seeing.
I would actually probably stick 6.5 on it. I believe that's the exact score.
Okay. I'm sticking with 7. I think it was a decent movie. Not bad. None of the just stupid. I mean, trying to compare it to Last Jedi isn't fair. Like, I can't say a 2 is like, oh, well, it's so much better than that 2 we gave out last year. So, I mean, it's not that bad. That's not a fair comparison. Don't.
To make a movie so bad, it retroactively ruins
The whole series.
Yes.
Like, literally, I dislike The Force Awakens so much more now because of it. God, what a stupid movie.
And I was prescient too, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy Force Awakens till I see how the rest of the trilogy turns out.
Good choice.
But I do.
That was your future self being so upset that was impacting your previous self.
There's only 2 times I've done that. I've messed up with that. Sleepy Hollow. I bought season 1 before the show finished because I freaking love season 1, but
it was good.
And then, Rebels, honestly. Well, and I haven't watched season 4 of Rebels, but season 3 was such a shift in quality for me. And,
you should watch the Clone Wars, too. Those are supposed to be really good as well.
Yeah, those are on my Netflix queue, along with however many anime and other live-action TV. I don't sit and watch TV these days.
Too busy playing Monster Hunter.
No, not even that. I don't know what I do with my life anymore. I really don't. But not getting into that. Back to Solo. We have not been on topic.
No, we never are.
Okay, so a perfect example of Disney not understanding what Star Wars is about for me is the dice.
Yeah, why were they so focused on the dice? Were they in the original?
They were in for the first one and gone. That's the
I
whole
was gonna
thing.
Say,
they were spotted. They're like in one scene in A New Hope, and never seen again.
I didn't know why they made such a big deal about the dice. They meant nothing to me.
Yeah, and we are above average Star Wars informed individuals.
Yeah, we are kind of over the top. Honestly, we're not the buffs, but we're pretty extensive.
Not be the buffs, but for the way
we're way above average.
Yeah, for the way they focus on that, and for us to not understand, for me to not understand that without looking it up, it's you're not understanding what the audience is coming here for.
It meant so little to me. I didn't even care that it should have meant something to me. That puts in perspective just how little. It really felt like the only reason it was in there was to like set up for the part at the end when she hands it to him.
Yeah, yeah. Because.
Can I just reiterate how much I liked the ending? I really liked the ending, how she took over and, like, sets him up on kind of the path that he goes for the rest of the series. And for me, it was...
We're not in spoiler... Let's...
Oh, yeah, we're not in spoilers.
I suppose that's not much of a spoiler.
There's so little to spoil in this movie. Okay,
there's nothing you haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's a very stereotypical movie. Like I said, it's just a good movie.
6.5 out of 10. Nothing you haven't seen before.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Same answer. I don't round, or I do round. I don't give halves. Maybe, I don't know.
Kira's entire character, aside from the childhood friend business, is the exact character of Vesper in Casino Royale.
I'm gonna have to rewatch Casino Royale.
Down to the point of the betrayal. And
taking over
the abandonment and the it's and the regret. It's watch Casino Royale again
because I don't remember that from that movie. All I remember from that movie is him gambling, crashing his car and getting his balls hit.
Those are some good scenes. But
Oh, that stairwell fight scene was really good.
I love that fight scene.
It was a phenomenal fight scene.
I mean, people complain about overcut fight scenes, but to have such character development built into a simple 30-second fight scene.
It was a phenomenal fight scene. One of the best in any movie.
But the point is, because I was thinking, how could they go with her character to explain away some of Han's backstory without having to show it? Like when she's saying, "Han, you're the good guy. I know you're the good guy." This doesn't make any sense to me as a viewer because we haven't seen her witness Han being a good guy at any point.
Yeah, she's there to give him a backstory that he doesn't have. Because he hasn't acted like a good guy so far at all, ever, in the whole movie.
What would have been great is instead of the opening being him escaping from the Corellia, would be him letting her escape from Corellia and him staying trapped and having to find his own way out.
That would have been way better.
Yeah, because it would have shown Han cared about somebody else.
Him being a good guy.
Yes.
And then showing him that how that goes away because of the badness and why he's so adverse to it.
And
that'd be a way better way to handle the story.
And it could have gone the same damn way. He could have run and joined the Imperial Academy to escape.
Yeah,
the
literally done
enslavement
the
on the
exact
planet.
same.
Yeah, it could have been the same thing if they just let him escape or her escape instead of him, and she could have ended up in the same damn spot too.
Yeah, it would have been nothing but one scene cut differently
But
and a couple of lines different in the end.
Reestablish her assumptions about his character making perfect sense. It's logic like that doesn't track the. And
That's what makes it an average movie.
I would have loved to see him at the Imperial Academy instead of throwaway lines like, "I got thrown out of the academy for having a mind of my own." Show us that.
Especially because he was
awesome.
still a soldier.
Yes.
That didn't make much sense to me. Maybe he got kicked out of flight school?
Yeah, because they thrown out of the Imperial Academy is what they used while he's in the damn military for. And
Yeah, they could have done a little more with that.
because I hate to drag it back to Timothy Zahn every damn time, but the way it goes with Garm Beliblis talking to Han about getting in Han gets in trouble for asking about anti-alien bias in the what the scene is, Han's in school. He's bullied by friends into asking, or dared by friends into asking about anti-alien bias creeping into Senate proceedings. And it's a throwaway scene in Zahn, he mentioned. But it really establishes Han's character as someone who knows what's going on, has a problem with what's going on, but has decided to stay out of it. And this movie doesn't do that. I mean, he wants to be out of it, but he's also wants to be in it. It's very unclear where he's going as a character.
Yeah. It really walks that bad line of you need to know the character for this story to make any sense. Yes. And not really fitting well into the universe. It'd be much better if you don't think of it as part of it.
And this is before we get started on Lando, which I had lots of complaints about Lando.
I thought he was handled pretty well. Very much like the Lando from the movies.
No.
The only problem was he was too much like the Landos from the movies.
No, I disagree, because Lando, as portrayed in the original trilogy, wasn't a gambler. He was a businessman who gambled on the side for fun.
Oh, I figured that was where he ended up after, from his childhood of being.
Well, the way they play the character in the movie, he goes from gambling outpost to gambling outpost, as opposed to...
Yeah, they didn't really hit on him being a businessman.
Yeah, he's not running in... Because that's the impression...
Because they talked about it a little bit. They gave the impression...
Yeah, he's on his way to retirement from all this money he's earning, but they don't show that. They show him sitting in gambling halls...
And, broke.
And cheating.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't the Lando from the... He's not a cheater.
No.
He gambles with what he has, what he knows he has, and doesn't...
A very practical and safe, if very easy to betray.
Yeah, downright throwing his friends away to the Empire because he has no option.
Yeah. He does what makes sense, makes the good play. Risky but safe.
Yep, and
wants to do the right thing.
The
but
whole, to me, the whole cheating with the ace up the sleeve card.
I thought that was dumb. Yeah.
It's, and I mean,
And it didn't make any reason. There was no point to that.
No.
Like, that didn't need to be there.
It didn't build their relationship at all either. Because
He
Han
could
and
have just
Lando
won.
have very little interaction in this movie.
Yeah.
Han is more focused on Kira. Lando is
Focused on not being a part of anything.
focused on frickin' social
The
justice warrior.
I thought that was an
feminist
interesting.
robot.
I liked feminist robot.
I
was not expecting feminist robot.
I was
and it
very
well
angry.
done.
To me, I was very angry because
They killed her. It's really dumb.
no, because the only reason I think they had her in there is because of Alan Tudyk's character in Rogue One. You need to have a sassy robot in your movie.
Oh,
first.
that's fair. I didn't even think of her that way. I really liked her as a character. I didn't even think of her like that. But yeah, I liked her a lot until they killed her. I thought that was really lame. Didn't they kill the robot in the other one too?
Yes.
So they gotta have this perky sidekick to kill off. That was so lame. There's no reason to kill her other than to do just that.
And you know what it would have
It was the dog.
It wouldn't have made any sense, but
Kill
what
the
would have
dog.
been fun is to have him come back as a different robot, Alan, the same robot, but
That would have been.
different that would have been fun for us as an audience. I mean, it would have been a new character, and it probably wouldn't have, again, made sense outside
been
of its
funny.
own movie, but it would have been funny. It's
I struggle to find anything really to talk about, even the spoiler seconds. Like, there's not that much worth talking about.
okay. Let's keep
It's
moving
very
forward
forgettable.
then. Han Solo at the end. First I want to complain. They had an opportunity to use Nathan Fillion as the guy who taught Han Solo, and they skipped out on that for frickin' Woody Harrelson, who played Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I think he did a decent job. I would have liked Nathan Fillion, but
Can you imagine a Nathan Fillion-like
Oh,
character
man, he'd have
teaching
been
Han Solo
amazing.
everything you know?
I'm just picturing Firefly.
Exactly.
That would have been phenomenal. They missed out there. But no, I think
Because Disney doesn't know how to do sequels.
he did a decent job though. He wasn't bad. Just I can definitely see the potential that was wasted.
And some of the scenes that felt so obviously like they shoved in because they need to. Cause I'm so mixed on the last scene where Han shoots him first.
I liked
'Cause
it a lot.
That's really cool, but that is so spat out by a computer trying to find what the audience will like.
Shot
kind of-
first,
yeah.
yeah. Ah, but it's so well written. Yeah, I hate that it's part of the universe because
I think I would have liked it more if it didn't feel baited with the line, "I'm about to tell you the most important thing you'll ever know," and I'm like, okay, here he's gonna. Yeah, because it mentions when he walks up, he's getting ready. Well, I'm about to tell you the most important thing you'll ever know, and then he gets shot, and I was okay with it until I thought about that line, and thinking, yeah, the only reason he says that is so he can get shot while saying that.
yeah, it almost would have been better if he just went for it and he shot him instead.
Yeah,
no words.
in the middle of the damn conversation, but
It felt very contrived now that it feels very contrived now that I'm looking back on it. I agree.
I'm so mixed because that
Great.
actually makes sense with Han's character, but does it make sense with Han's character outside of this or inside of this movie? The only reason it's there is because that's what Han did in A New Hope.
I think if he knew that he had been betrayed and he saw her leaving, it would have made more sense.
Angry Han, yes, he would.
If they had swapped around and had that ship go by and her see him, he see her leaving, and then he shoots him, I think that would have made a lot more sense. As it stands, it seems really out of place. In retrospect. But it's so well done.
It is.
It's a great scene.
It's a great scene up until you think about it.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
the
the
problem
story of
with,
Disney.
Yeah, problem
Disney
with
Star
all
Wars.
of Disney Star Wars.
No. I won't say that's the problem with all of Disney Star Wars, because that is not even scratching the surface of Last Jedi.
Well, the problem with, and I mean, I could say the problem with, and put it down to a number of things. Audience trying to foil audience expectations was one of the major problems of Last Jedi, because you can
feel them just trying to,
because it's so
from
easy
top to bottom.
It's so easy to spoil audience expectations. audience expects something cool to happen.
So
By
just
not
don't do
having
anything
something
cool.
happen, you've
Or
successfully subverted...
only sticking your cool things in where they have no place being. Wait, what? When did this become a thing? All of this. No. Wait. When did we learn to fly? Well, that was never been. You know what? No.
But I
no.
still keep going back to how it should have ended with Akbar. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? It's a trap, and then he flies. God, the best thing to come out of the Last Jedi is the how it should have ended video for the Last Jedi.
I've seen so many different ways that could have ended or been handled, and all of them are better. I've yet to see a worse one, like having Leia pop her eyes open, do this, and then she's the one that shoots through all the other ships and destroys them all. Like, wait, what? Still makes more sense than what they did. Heck, that makes more sense internal to the thing.
It made no sense to just sideline her for an entire movie. I mean, I hate to blame them for not knowing Carrie Fisher was going to die, but it's such a waste of a final role to have her sidelined so hard
She gets
for
to fly.
no reason. To replace her with another character that could have just been Leia.
No, I don't. I would. Yes.
Holdo could have just been Leia.
Holdo couldn't have just not existed and been replaced by any number of characters. She was such a poorly written character. We can't get started. That is so bad.
But
Yes. Anything more on Solo? Otherwise,
yes, Darth Maul.
I like that.
I'm like him. I
don't
like
think they're
Darth
going to do
Maul's
anything with
character.
it though.
Well, if this gets a sequel, which I'm sure is up in the air by now, I think this is supposed to be a trilogy where they build to an arc where, and spoilers for the Rebels show, we already know how he dies, so it's not related in Solo to any way.
I didn't know that.
You saw season 2, didn't you? Oh.
I've only done season 1.
Season
2 is hard but good. No, season 2 is good. 3
oh,
is
it's
bad?
the best. Season 2 is some of the best TV ever, but season 3 it goes downhill slightly, even with Thrawn showing up in season 3. But
Okay,
I need to lend you season 2, because the final 2 episodes. Did you? That's characters done right.
You need
it's more beautiful Darth Vader scenery. To give his line, one of the characters is, "I'm not afraid of you," and Darth Vader's line is, "Then you will die braver than most." And it's just like, yes.
That is awesome. You need to watch Hunter x Hunter. If you like that kind of stuff, like the second or third, the Chimera, I don't know what. Chimera arc is so worth a watch.
Well, you've said Chimera, and it's already associated with Thrawn, so you've got me interested.
It is so good. It is so good, man. Some of the best character writing in an
I do
anime.
have a lot more free time. No, I don't. Actually, I have less free time now.
Yeah.
I have a lot less free time now.
That's unfortunate. It's more consistent free time.
Man, if someone would just get back to me, I'd feel a little better. But
seriously, Hunter x Hunter is so good. It's so good. I just read the whole manga after watching the anime to catch up, and there's more manga than there is anime, so that's something else.
Remind me to give you Rebels season 2.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's see. I like Darth Maul coming back because I like Darth Maul as a character. The problem is we already know how he dies, and it is nowhere related to the general.
The royal.
I
didn't see
know
that.
what that was.
I was looking over here and I just hear over there.
I don't even know what that was.
It's getting late. We had some stuff to drink. Maybe time to call it a night.
No,
it's only like 2:30 here.
Whatever.
Normally,
I'd still be working for another 2.5 hours. I have to be ready to go at 11. But let's see, because Doug, what else?
You have a lot more passion about this one than I did. It was just very meh.
It was very mad, but it's all poking holes into Star Wars in general.
As far as holes to poke, this one was far better than most.
I felt like they wasted Dryden's character. Also, that was the... Yeah, can you even remember?
No.
That was the mob boss.
Oh, yeah, he
With
didn't
the
get much
blades.
screen time.
And another side note for Casino Royale fans is there's a character named Dryden in Casino Royale. So, another connection.
He
to
looks
this.
a lot like him, too. Like the bad guy in Casino Royale, the guy
A little,
he handles with, looks a lot like Dryden in this. Similar facial mannerisms.
Well, it's Vision. That's who the actor is. It's the actor who plays Vision is the villain in
Casino Royale.
Solo.
In Solo?
No, in Solo. Dryden. He's Dryden.
It's a very different role. Did not recognize him.
And I feel he's wasted here because I like him as a... Did you ever see the movie A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger as the Joker? Jouster. Wow. That was a completely unintentional reference to another one of his roles. Heath Ledger as the Jouster and...
The Jester?
Joust.
I'm sure I've seen A Knight's Tale, but it's been too long.
Well, the point is he plays another character in that movie I really like. He's like the hype man for the Jouster in that movie. But I felt he was wasted. I felt the whole overarching mob boss kind of thing could have been done differently.
I felt it was a lot better after the Darth Maul reveal.
My problem is I think they were banking too heavily on a sequel to explain what was up with Kira's character.
Yeah, because I don't think... I'm not too confident this is getting a sequel. It did not do well. But Disney doesn't tend to care, man.
Yeah.
They just...
Because what's-his-face, director of Last Jedi, still has a trilogy on the table as far
The fact
as
that
I
he still
know.
has a freaking job in this industry is a shame. I don't think I'll ever forgive Disney, Star Wars, or him for that movie.
And like the conversation we're having is, where do we go from here?
Where could they possibly go? How could they recover that?
Yeah, how can you bring it back?
I'm still of the opinion that the only way to recover Star Wars is to literally retcon out The Last Jedi and redo it. I don't see a salvageable way, and I highly, highly doubt that they're going to.
No, you can't. It's not... Well, I say that with all the Spider-Mans we've gotten. But if they were going to do it, they would have to erase The Force Awakens as well and start from scratch. And the problem is...
because The Force Awakens leaves so much open-ended that they could come up with a better...
No, because the problem is they will never get Mark Hamill back, and they will never get Harrison Ford back.
Well, you don't need Harrison Ford for the second one. I'm saying if you start from The Force Awakens, you could make a salvageable second movie.
You'll never get Mark Hamill back. They can't do it.
True. I don't know. I think they could.
I think he's done. I think he's just as done with Star Wars. Because I know he came out...
so jaded.
I think he came out before and said, I disagree with literally every character decision you've made with Luke Skywalker. And then he comes out afterwards and says, oh, all right, he made a good movie. I think he was forced to do that by Disney.
I think if they came to him with a decent script and said, look, we acknowledge you were right. We screwed up. That guy's gone. Can you take us a look at this and tell us? Because he really cares about the story.
Yeah, because he was friends with George Lucas. When George Lucas said he was going to do more, he was on board.
I still think they could make it salvageable.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever get Harrison Ford back, which is a shame.
Yeah, well, they could still Darth Maul him. Make a salvageable death for him.
Yes, but it's... Yeah, I suppose, but they can't make his death have impact now. It's...
Okay.
Solo was fine. The cancer that is Star Wars is already dead, and this doesn't make it any worse.
Yeah. This is not any continuous growth of cancer from Star Wars. It's just not great. It is a movie. 6.5, 7 out of 10. Go see it if you like movies.
Any words of wisdom for the audience?
Yeah. Any words of wisdom for the audience?
Any words of